Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Wargaming. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is the weekly Wednesday Wargaming questions and answers. It's an off-the-cuff video, guys. What that means is I record and upload. There is no fancy editing skills. You won't see my intro some at the beginning. I do have a transition button, so if there's noise outside my control, I can stop filming, let it pass and carry on. These weekly Wednesdays are essentially a Q&A. You guys ask me questions and I answer them. They are primarily model focused, of which is primarily GW stuff, of which is primarily 40k because this is the hottest thing going at the moment. There is terrain questions from time to time. There's some information about myself, what's going on in the workshop at Southampton, and it helps to turn the light on. Okay. Yeah, we'll have a weekly vote, which I'll get onto when it comes to it, and a review of data card. I didn't review data card last week because I was sick and I was pressed on time trying to finish off. What was I painting? The Telos. Yeah. Okay, which brings me on to my first question. What is the STL file name for the 3D printed Telos? I think they've been taken down. This happens quite a lot. If someone has seen that video and they know what the file has been changed to something else and they know what it is, check on below. But I think they've been taken down now. It's a pain in the ass. It happens sometimes, a lot of the time. I go into Cults 3D probably once a week. Their website is full of STL files. You tap something in and it comes up with a list of, so you typed in Death Guard, it would come up with anything that's like Death Guard related. And a lot of things that I have, downloaded off of that Cults 3D, I'll go back into that same section again, maybe a week after or 2 weeks after, to look for something else, and that's gone. So if anyone knows what the file's called or something similar, check it below, guys, because they are some really class prints. Very unique. Quite a lot of body horror on them. So unfortunately, that's what happens. Right. Do you have any big videos planned, like big builds or big models to be painted? I do. I am planning, when the channel goes full time, to do Dark Master. That's the first thing that's in the pipework, is Dark Master, because he's been there, undercoated, ready to go for a long time now. I won't put him into the vote because there's a lot of hours to paint that model. Apart from that, I don't have anything else big planned. Now, with that said, if I get Imperial Knights, or if I get some Chaos Knights, or if I get, some sort of big thing like that, whether it's something that I've kit bashed from plastic parts and 3D printed parts, or whether it's actually the actual kit of whatever it is, I don't have nothing planned to do that, but it could happen. Dark Master is anything that's planned at the moment. Okay, this next question is from no one. I'm a female and I have tiny female hands. I wear Charles Eyes gardening gloves. With my tiny hands and the use of tweezers, I have trouble with removing mold lines, etc., and assembling some of these tiny pieces. How do you do it with your man-sized hands? There's a lot of things that can be done here, because random stuff happens. Now, I wouldn't use gardening gloves. These are like my gardening gloves, and they're too thick. I would switch to sort of latex gloves or non-latex gloves, surgical type gloves, because you'll be able to hold the piece in your hand a lot more. You'll be able to feel it in your hand a lot more. Another trick that I do, take my finger, my thumb, and I pinch it. Okay, so I've got a bit of grip onto it. This is lolly stick, but files of this sort of thickness will be perfect, because if you're pinching it, you can just give it a clean. Now, presumably you're wearing gloves because you don't want to mess your hands up or get stuff on your hands and all that sort of stuff. I don't bother with gloves, I just go straight into it. But there is something else you can do as well. Sanding sponge is actually brilliant as well. Now, when you put the model together, what I do is I try and get 95% of the mould lines. When the model's together, I'll go, oh look, hold on, I missed a bit there, I missed a bit there. Then I come back in with a sanding sponge and mould line scraper and just try and get the bits I need to get. In terms of handling the pieces, because they're so small, some of the bits are really small. Tweezers, yes, tweezers will work, but you're relying on your hand operating something else to hold something. You know, for me, there's too many processes from the model piece to your hand. You know, I know it's tweezers, but you're trying to operate tweezers. Tweezers are operating the hold it in the hand. It's a lot easier. But you could, and some people agree with me, some people disagree with this. You get some blue tack. Put some blue tack on top of the lid, and push the piece onto the lid, and then just clean that way. Or something similar that you can just take the piece off, and then it's not going to stick to the model. You can just work away. I've seen that done a few times. I've actually seen people take a bit of plastic sprue. That's a bad example because I'm lolly stick. Take a piece of plastic sprue, snip it, and then plastic glue the piece, like say the head, onto the end. Okay, so then when it's dry, you just got a stick with the head on it, and then you can clean it down and paint it down. I've seen that done. I don't like painting the model in bits and then putting it together. There is something else as well, because I always drop pieces. Not always, but a lot of the time. I've got grade concrete floor out here. So when I get into the last bit of spray in my black spray can, I try and spray on the concrete floor. What this does is, it'll take the greyness off of the floor. So if I drop a grey piece of plastic, it's going to land there, and I can see, oh, there it is. If you're doing it in a house or somewhere you can't spray the floor, get yourself some cardboard. Cereal boxes, cardboard boxes, flat pack them down, tape them together as best you can so they're like sort of level, and then spray or just paint that black. Get some cheap black crafting paint and paint that black. But you want to tape them together and make it big enough so it goes under the desk. So if you drop something, you're going to be able to see it straight away. Grey plastic is against the black background, you're going to see it straight away. If you can't see it on your space that your safety net, as you like, that means it's not on there, it's underneath you somewhere. Another thing when you're building the models, I'm going to use a Silent King for this because this is a prime example. When I built the Silent King on channel for you guys, I just went through page after page and built it. Because in truth, got to a point with Silent King where I was just like, oh, get this finished. But what I'm trying to say is have a flick through the instruction book. The reason I'm using Silent King as a prime example, because you build the two guys that go on to the platform with him. So you build the balcony first for the platform, and then you build the two guys later on, and then the two guys are meant to slot in, and it's the hardest thing to slot them in because they have pipes coming out the back of them that are meant to go into the back of the throne type area, but you've got the balcony in front, so you can't get it in. It's very hard to get the angle, and then you've got their staffs that they can break very quickly. So when you're building a model, flick through and have a look, because with that example, I would have built the two guys first and stuck them in, and then put the balcony on afterwards. But the instruction told me to do the balcony first. So when I built the guys, I think I did it this way. I put the guys' weapons and glued the weapons together first. The instruction was telling me to glue the arm onto the body, and then glue the arm on. I did the hand with the staff and the arm first, and then put it onto the model. So what I try to say is just look through the instructions first, because it could tell you, be saying you a difficult way of doing it that I want you to do it, but there's an easier way of doing it. Like sub-assembly the weapon arm first, and leave that to dry for a day, and it's a complete piece then, and glue it on. Flayed ones are another example. When I built flayed ones, I followed it by the instructions, and they were difficult. But after building them, I come up with a simpler way, which would be take all the parts off for the first model, all the parts for the second model, third model, so fourth and fifth model, and then take, say, the left leg, clean it, glue it to the base, and do that with all of them. And then take the other leg. I think, if memory serves right, I think there's 2 legs, and then the torso sits into the middle of them. But then I'll take the right leg, clean it all down, clean the torso down, hip area, and glue the right leg into place. Okay, leave that to dry, and then take the hip area with the leg and line it up with the other leg that's already glued to the base and glue that in, rather than messing around trying to do it and it's all, you know. So what I'm trying to say is they just give you instructions what they think is the easiest way of doing it, but there is easy ways of doing it. Flick through the instructions first and have a look, because you could look and go, okay, they want me to put this there. Flick over 2 pages, go, but hold on, I should do this first really, because this is a lot. Makes things easier for me. In terms of, you know, I've waffled on a bit there, sorry sister, but in terms of handling the model, you're better off not going with the big thick gloves. We're going with this, you know, surgical type gloves, because you get more grip on it and pinch it between your fingers. The tweezers are great, don't get me wrong, but they're not, for me, I don't even really use, actually I think I have used it a few times, tweezers, to put the static grass stuffs on the model. That's about it, because there's too much messing around. But then I've never used tweezers, it's not my type of thing. So but anyway, there's the questions for this week. I waffled on a little bit there, so I'm going to bring you down and show you a data card, but I'm actually going to take it from the codex, okay, because the data card I wanted to show you I don't have, because every time I go to buy that data card back, it's not in stock, and when I don't have the money for it, it's in stock. So what I did was I checked it on the app, and then there was a few adjustments to make on the codex, so I made those. But I'm going to bring you down and go through that with you guys. But I'm going to bring you over actually, because it's easier, because it's the codex. Inner Circle Companions. Now, I've used these guys once or twice on the table, and I actually looking at their rules today and then thinking, oh, what, and trying to work out what heroes I could put with them, because actually that would be a quite tasty unit on the table. Anyway, movement of 6, bog standard marine, toughness 4, 3+ save, 3 wounds, which is nice. Leadership 6 and OC 2, which again is nice. They're armed with heavy bolt pistol, which is a pistol weapon, 18-inch range, 1 shot each, 3s to hit, strength 4, so I guess normal Space Marine you're wounded on 4 still, AP -1 and 1 damage apiece. So normal Space Marine with a 4+ save without any armor of contempt or light cover. Right, they're melee weapons, this is where they excel. You've got 2 choices, strike or sweep. So strike has lethal hits, the sweep has sustained hits 2. Yes, sustained hits 2. Okay, so see where I've changed the pen, because it's been changed. So strike has 4 attacks, sweep has 5 attacks. They're both 3s to hit, both strength 6, so you're wounding Space Marines on 3s. They're both AP -2 now, and the strike is 2 damage and the sweep is 1 damage. This is just saying if a character with leader ability can be attached to a Stone Guard veteran unit, it can be attached to this unit instead. They have Oath Moment because they're Space Marines. The Braziers of Judgment, I probably just butchered that word. While a character model is leading this unit, each time an attack targets this unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. That's actually nice, because you could put a lieutenant in there, give him lethal hits, and then put a captain in there as well. That is actually nice, or even Azrael in there. So that is actually nice. Any enemy, not enemy, enmity of for the unworthy. Enmity. Okay, I don't know what that word means. But each time model in this unit makes an attack that targets a character unit, add 1 to the hit roll. Again, that's absolutely amazing with lethal hits or and their sustained hits and all that. But see, lethal hits and sustained hits. If I put Azrael in a unit, they already have sustained hits too on their sweep. But that means if I did lethal, if I did the strike, Azrael would give them sustained hits 1 on that as well as their pistol gets sustained hits 1 and lethal hits if there's a lieutenant in there. So the same as well as I was doing a sweep attack, they got sustained hits 2. But then a lieutenant in the unit as well would give them lethal hits on that. So it's 3 to 6 inner circle companions. The ones with heavy pistol and caliber knight greatsword. The keywords are infantry, Imperium, Deathwing. So any stratagems that target Deathwing could target them. Tacticus, which means they're Primaris Marines, and the Circle Companions. Okay, Adeptus Astartes and Dark Angels are the keywords. And just in case if you missed it the other week, this is the unit that I painted up. They won I think they won the dice roll. Right, so now I'm going to bring you down and show you the vote. What is the vote? What's it all about? I show you a host of models, and you guys comment below and vote what you want me to paint for next Monday's painting video. In the event of a tie, I do a dice roll. You can vote for as much as you like on there. Don't say I vote for everything, because it won't count. But you can say I vote for any Space Marine, any Necron, any World Eater, anything like that, and it will count. There is a wildcard vote. You'll find out what the wildcard is if it wins. There's also Creator's Choice. So if nobody votes, or if you just vote for Creator's Choice, then I pick which model to paint, which is the hardest thing because I want to paint everything. I look at the voting 12 o'clock on a Saturday, midday on a Saturday, because some of you are on different time zones, so you're looking at it when it's Friday, but for me it'll be Saturday. So about 12 o'clock on a Saturday, I look at it, see what's winning, and then Sunday, if anything needs to be prepped, I try and get as much, prep base coat, sorting the basing out, all that sort of stuff on the Sunday, and then finish it on the Monday. So I'm going to bring down and show the models now, guys. Before we go into the models, I just wanted to show you this up close and personal. This is Monday's painting video just gone. So if you've seen the channel for the first time, guys, the Fire Prism won the vote last week. It was painted up Monday just gone. Absolutely, the crystal work is amazing. It's very, very simple. If you haven't seen the video, guys, go and check it out. Right, so we're going to start with Blade Guard Veterans for the Space Marines, the Crypto Thralls for the Necrons, Jackals for the World Eaters. We have the Stern Guard Veterans for the Space Marines. We have the Lich Guard for the Necrons, Space Marine Fire Strike Team. We have the Genocides for Genocide Cults or Tyranids. Hellblaster guys for the Space Marines. We have the 8-bound for World Eaters. We have Sabertooth for Marvel Crisis Protocol. We have a unit of Poxwalkers and Sisters of Silence. I left those 2 in from last week just for that little gap. We have Omega Red for Marvel Crisis Protocol. We have a Redemptor Dread, which is a beast of a model. We have Barbagonts. We have a Plasmancer for Necrons. The old fantasy model of unit of Chaos Warriors and Michael Noggle still there. And we have the Venom for the Drukhari. Right, so there's no Eldari in there this week because Eldari won last week. Hopefully next week, I'll have the Paragon Warsuits in there. I'll have a Penitent Engine in there. Some Seraphim, because those 3 Paragon Warsuits are slowly getting built up, but the Seraphim I can't do on camera because they come on the same sprue as the Archo Flatulence from the Imperial magazine. But if you were buying them separately, they'd be in their own boxes. So I don't know why they put them on the same sprue. I don't know, but the plan is to have them in there as well. Probably the flatulence, bloody flatulence, arcoflagellants. I can't pronounce the word, but hopefully to have them in there. Flatulence. Anyway, yeah, and the Penzet engine, I'm planning on building that on Let's Build, you know, over the next few days. Now, with that said, I haven't pulled the kit out and looked at the instructions, so I could look at it and go, oh my goodness me. But I find out when I get to it, but that's also from the Imperial magazine, because I've still got loads of those to do. But anyways, if you're seeing this for the first time, and you're laughing at me talking about flatulence, I don't know why. Anyway, if you're seeing this for the first time, and you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, because it costs you absolutely nothing. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. Everyone smash the thumbs up button so it triggers YouTube to send this video to more and more people, which makes this amazing community of you guys grow even more. If you want to support the channel even further, there's a join button below. You can click on that and head over to the membership page and become a member with loads of different perks. Each level has different perks. If you have any comments for me or any questions for me, chuck them below as always, guys. Don't forget to chuck your vote for next Monday's paint video below as always. If you don't want to chuck a question below because you think people can take the piss, there is none of that goes on here. This community of you guys is absolutely fantastic. But if you don't feel comfortable chucking a question down below, you know, you're new to the hobby, new to the whole scene, you can go onto Unique Wargaming Terrain Facebook page. There is a messenger button there. Click on that and you can message me directly, okay? And I'll answer the question for you next Wednesday. So guys, thanks for watching. Chuck comments below, questions below, votes below. Hit the buttons for me if you're new to the channel or anything else. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy.